Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ingrid, and before we get started on our new moon reading, I wanted to just take a little moment and let you know that I will be hosting a 9-month embodied tarot training experience. And we begin on January 25th, 2026. So, in about a week's time. This is the second time that I'm actually facilitating this journey. The last one was in 2022. So actually, I don't do these often. Anyway, I'm opening 5 spots for this 9-month experience together, and this is not going to be, and it is not actually an ordinary tarot engagement. Rather, this is a structured, guided mentorship designed to help you build a very deep, professional level relationship with tarot. And as you know, tarot is not just about pulling cards for me, and it's not just about predictions. For me, I actually find that predictions are sort of a side effect to these pictorial cards. But for me, tarot is a celestial tool, and it's a celestial tool that helps us understand ourselves, helps us understand our life's direction and purpose, and provides guidelines that help us make better life choices. With Embodied Tarot, during these live sessions, these are not pre-recorded modules. I do not have a script or anything like that. I will be experiencing this with you. I'll be teaching you some creative and unique methods of reading tarot that I've developed over the years, blending study, practice, intuition, psychology, symbolism, and real-world applications. You'll also get the Substack membership for free, so you can have access to the colors of tarot. By the way, if you aren't already a member of my Substack community, I really encourage you to join because you get a monthly whispered prayer every month. You get the 2026 predictions, which is both the tarot and numerology predictions. It's actually fascinating. Some of the things are already revealing itself. And you get also special tarot and oracle readings, such as for the solstice, the eclipses, Valentine's Day, etc. So you get all that. And then you also get the colors of tarot, where we go deep into the esoteric significance of these cards in relation to color frequencies. It's actually very powerful. I'm having so much fun with that offering. It's super cool. And of course, you will also get this unicorn offering, which is coming out soon. And that's all about the third eye activation and that engagement. So if you haven't already, make sure that you are part of the Substack community. I'll actually put another link on the Substack so you can check it out if you want. But again, you do get the Substack membership for free as part of the Embodied Tarot 9-month journey. And in that Embodied Tarot, we're also going to learn how to see tarot clearly. You're going to learn how to interpret it accurately. You're going to learn how to trust the guidance that you receive from these pictorial images, right? And again, I'm keeping this small. And this group experience, the small group experience, is actually designed on purpose with only 5 participants. Then I can really work very closely with you to support your growth, to support your journey during the 9-month and beyond, actually, and to help you develop your own personal reading style, right? Everyone's got their own personal tarot reading style. And oftentimes we think we have to cookie cut our sort of interpretations, and that's not it at all. So you're definitely going to start developing your psychic impressions with the journey. You're also not going to, with a small group, you're not going to get lost in a crowd, right? You'll definitely be mentored. I want to be there for you during the entire process. You're going to learn how to read tarot like a language, noticing the patterns, the movement, and the story. It's like watching a film unfold right before your eyes. The main focus is going to be on the minor arcanas, because those are the ones that help us understand everyday situations, emotions, and relationships. The major arcanas help us understand life themes, turning points, purpose, the bigger picture, right? And that's not going to be our main focus because we're going to be focusing on your royal house. And that comes from the minor arcanas, okay? So you're going to have a very practical, usable, experience so that you can understand and see Tarot very clearly. By the end of this journey, you won't just know Tarot, right? You will embody it with confidence, accuracy, and a level of depth you didn't even think you could have with Tarot. If you're serious about taking your Tarot practice to the next level and want real guidance with creative structure and transformation, then I think Embody Tarot may actually be for you. Oh, and you'll also receive a certification where you kind of like just become part of the Arc Larimar community. That's my baby, my community, my company, and you become part of that family. And I'll share a little bit more with the participants of this journey what that's all about and what that entails. But again, there are only 5 spaces available, and that's again to keep it personal and to keep it powerful. If you feel ready to invest in your growth as a reader or just are looking for that self-discovery, for many years, I taught Tarot one-on-one for a whole year journey. It was a 12-month journey. And a lot of the people that I taught Tarot to, they don't do it as part of a company or as part of a service, right? They did it because they wanted to go deep within themselves. And this is part of the Embodied Tarot program as well. So if you're curious about that angle, this is definitely for you. And yeah, so I'm opening this up. I have to be honest, there probably are only 3 spots available because I've been discussing with 2 other people that I believe are definitely going to join. So again, we've got a very limited time, only about a week's time, very small group. I invite you to reach out to me if you're interested via email at wisdom@arclarimar.com. I'll put the email in the description link. You can also DM me on Instagram at arclarimar if you're interested, and I will then send you a link with more information on the Embodied Tarot. Again, it's a 5-participant journey. There probably are only 3. I'm looking forward to beginning. I already am like antsy about the first time we meet because we're going to do something really magical and creative on sort of like setting our intentions for 2026. It's pretty deep and dope. I'm super excited about that. So again, if you're interested, please, please, please contact me as soon as possible, and I will give you the information and you can read it and see if you're interested. I would love to have you. Yeah. And that was my spiel. All right, now let's move on to the new moon reading on the next slide. So on January 18th, 2026, we have a new moon. And this is one of those rare overlap moments where, despite using different astrological systems, both the Vedic and tropical astrological systems identify this new moon as being in Capricorn. Of course, the degrees in which they're in Capricorn do range between these 2 systems, but nonetheless, it is in Capricorn. This is an intense moon, y'all. It's really, really intense. And as we move through from the new moon to that full moon period, things are going to be ramping up. Things are going to be revealed. Revealed where? Government system, structural systems. More and more light is going to be shed, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, from the esoteric perspective, is a planet of discipline. It's a planet of structure. It's a planet of karmic law. And Capricorn is a sign where its principal engagement with the spiritual and sacred understanding is that it's a descent into from spirit into sort of matter, right? So it goes from this dense energy this light energy of the sacred spiritual into this dense energy of matter, meaning the expressions are going to be real. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be unavoidable, right? And there's an emphasis here from the esoteric perspective of Capricorn that we need to be careful of what we see, what we hear, what we are believing, and we need to be disciplined with our soul, right? With our soul. That means this new moon is going to call you to engage in a relationship with your soul, because you're going to be seeing things, you're going to be hearing things that are very disruptive. Very disruptive. And if you do not know how to ground yourself with the understanding that you have a higher energy engagement, right? A higher sort of being in yourself, you're going to find it difficult to engage with the world. Capricorn teaches lessons of patience, responsibility, and endurance. These are the energies that you need in order to engage with your soul. Be patient with your soul. If you're going to journal, writing to your higher self, right? Be patient. Be responsible. Do it every day at the same time. Let's say 7 o'clock in the morning every day. Take out your journal. Ask your higher self questions. See what comes out. And be in it for the long run. This is where the endurance part comes in. Don't just do it for the new moon. Try to engage with your higher self, your soul self, for a longer period of time, at least until that full moon. It's really important for us to stay grounded. Remember that Capricorn's symbol is really the sea goat. This goes back, right, eons. And the sea goat illustrates this union of the material and the spiritual. Some people say the material and the emotional. And usually these goats are ascending the mountain to remain sort of like connected to the deeper current of consciousness, but also it's kind of like telling us we're going to have to climb a mountain, guys, or it's going to be a little tough this period of time, right? And this is why it's important. This whole offering is in the engagement of regulating our emotions. I am convinced that when I started the Tarot and the Moons, and I got that clear guidance, teach people about the importance of regulating your emotions, I am convinced that that was because of 2026 and what we are experiencing so far, and the month is not even over, right? So this is the energy of the year. And Capricorn really embodies this great work. And what is the great work, right? The great work is to connect with this frequency of love, this application to move forward like this sea goat in an effort toward having a meaningful achievement. And that meaningful achievement is not about things, is not about material possessions, even though Capricorn is very much about engaging that because it's an earth sign. But really the effort in achievement here is to show ourselves that we can connect with the space of love. So despite the monstrosities that are being revealed, and they will continue, don't shudder away, but interface them and say, wow, I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to ignore this. There's this thing with the spiritual community, especially where there's this fake nonsense that goes on, and it's like, oh, don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. Just, think of only positive things. And that is probably the most insulting thing that you can do to another fellow human being, especially when you have a very, very large platform. where you can say, hey, this is going on, and here's what we can do about it, right? What meaning, don't ignore it. Send love into that space. Don't ignore it. Meditate into that space. Don't ignore it. Acknowledge it. It's like when someone is, I'm just going to say it, when someone is abused or something to that effect. Can you imagine you being a child and being abused, and you're an adult now, and you're up against the world powers, and then you got people that are believing you, you got people that are criticizing you, you got people that are doubting whether your story is real or not. And then you've got the spiritual sacred community, right? And they're all in their little box over there, and they're like, oh, let's connect to the outer space people, right? Because that's where our peace and love is going. No. Mm-mm-mm. We are on planet Earth. We've got to interface, and we got to do the hard work, right? That's what Capricorn is telling us. We got to do the hard work. We got to do that great work, right? I don't need to like call that person up and have a conversation, especially if I don't know them, but I can look at that energy and I could say, wow, man, I'm going to send you some love because that wasn't a loving experience you had, right? Wow, I'm going to pray for you, man. I'm going to really pray for you so that you can survive the telling of your story and be in a space where there's healing here for you. I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm going to witness this. Don't come up to this channel and say that you're spiritual or sacred and that you're all about love, and you're not watching what's going on in the world. And you're out there thinking, I'm just going to live my life and manifest more material things and not pay attention to what's going on. I'll give a pass to those that have actually gone through abuse as a child, and everyone's had traumatic experience. I'm talking about sex abuse, right? I'll give you a pass. You can go into your little bubble and be in your safe space. But everybody else, myself included, I've had child abuse situations, but not of the sex nature. I'm going to face that. I'm going to say, wow, man, I'm going to be one of these witnesses here. I'm going to watch your audio. I'm going to hear your interviews. And I'm going to say, I love you. I love you for coming forward. I love you for surviving, right? I love you. And I invite you all to do that. That's the great work that the Capricorn energy embodies. And it's a mastery work, right? Capricorn is showing us how to have discipline in action, in perseverance, in ethical responsibility. That's what I'm talking about when I refer to the energy of the sacred spiritual community, right? Of not even being loud voices. I see some of these platforms. I'm like, why don't you invite some of these people that are being abused that are trying to be heard, right? They won't do that because they want to ignore it. And let me tell you something, that's playing right into the devil archetype, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because the devil archetype is part of the matrix of the Capricorn energy. So that's playing right into it. Don't look over there. Go over here. Go over here, light worker. Don't look at what I'm doing over here on the other end. I don't want your light shining on this darkness, right? So it's so funny how people just play into it and they don't even know, right? This is why it's important to meditate and connect to your higher being, your higher self, and see what it is that you are meant to look at. And it's gonna be tough, guys. I've gone through this whole 2020s. The judgment card's in play. That means we've got to learn how to forgive. That's a tough one. I don't know how to do that. I ask for divine intervention all the time, right? And the Capricorn energy is really emphasizing this law of cause and effect, of illustrating that a steady effort, self mastery, in alignment with our higher purpose, which is to love and be in that frequency of love. These are meant to be karmic lessons for everyone, for the global family. And we're here to learn from it and spiritually grow from it as well. And you can't grow and learn from a collective trauma if you're not even facing it. Ultimately, Capricorn's esoteric teaching is about transforming the potential into something accomplished, right? The potential of what? Well, that's going to be up to you. I want to transform the potential of love into something greater, something bigger that I can accomplish with it, right? And remember, Capricorn, governed by Saturn, reminds us that our soul is not here to be sort of imprisoned inside of us, but rather to express mastery and to integrate this soul with form, meaning with our human beingness, right? This is going to ask us to balance our ambition, to be patient, and to have inner wisdom. I feel very strongly that the engagement with this Capricorn energy is an alchemical engagement. And it's a turning, it's sort of like we're flipping the page to see how much we can endure and to sense how much we can advance as humanity. It really feels to me like this is the soul's journey toward a greater consciousness, this particular new moon. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the word that came up in our next segment with or with yeah, I think I'm going to talk more about the word with when I show you the archetype that's the tarot archetypes that are at play. I think it'll make more sense in the next slide. All right, so the word, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the word that I got when I did the meditation for this new moon. And remember, when we're dealing with a new moon, it is an attunement point. So we're refining something. It's a power point because the sun and the moon are in the exact same sign, right? So the sun is also in Capricorn. This is what the new moon is. Energetically, it's showing us this balance between the feminine nature and the masculine nature within ourselves. So it's a celestial balance point for all of humanity when we're dealing with a new moon. And it's also obviously an ideal time to set intentions, to seed a new vision for yourself, or to start something new that will expand as the moon expands, right, into that full moon. But the word that I got when I did the meditation for this particular new moon was cautious. So we're being asked to be cautious. And it's very much a Capricornian trait to be cautious. They're a little bit more conservative, right? So when we're dealing with this energy of the Capricorn, it is more conservative, all right? And it's an energy that is focused on power and ambition. And they have this very patient energy, right? And they're also very encouraging, but it's about responsibilities, responsibilities that are taken very, very seriously. And this energy of approaching life in a slow way and in a steady pace. That energy, all of what I just described characteristically, is asking us to proceed cautiously and to be cautious with our actions, especially during this period of time, right? Again, that word cautious, be vigilant around about your surroundings, about your next steps in life. Be cautious, but not cautious in the way that you're going to be scared, but rather cautious in a way that you're going to approach things in a slow and steady manner, just like the Capricorn energy does. Okay? Now, when we're talking about Capricorn, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn rules two tarot archetypes, which is the devil archetype and the world. When we are engaging with the devil archetype over here, let me just take this so you could see it. And this is from the Arcanian Tarot deck. When we're engaging with the devil archetype, we are engaging with bondage, ignorance, right? Ignorance that can be deceitful and mean, though, and vicious. And we're also dealing with materialism. We can also be dealing here with the reclaiming of power, right? Because we want freedom and revelations, right? When it's revealed to you that you can free yourself, right? And of course, this release point. These are all aspects and archetypal energies of the archetype of the devil tarot card. Okay? This has to do a lot with the root chakra. And it has to do a lot with what are my foundations, right? What are my foundations? So that's one aspect. The other a card that is ruled by Saturn is actually the World card. And the world is always signifying a completion point. It also can show us what we've achieved. This tends to be a victory card. This is why it says triumph in the bottom here. It's a victory card. It tends to be this expression of the whole, right? This expression of the whole. On its more challenging, this card can be about not having closure, not being fulfilled, and incompleteness. And again, it rules the root chakra. So both of these cards deal with the root chakra. That's going to be about who we identify with collectively. It's going to be about our home base collectively, right? It's going to be about this energy of what it is that identifies who I am, right? And there's also this energy again with achievement that's coming in through both the achievement of freedom, the achievement of having accomplished something, right? So let's hope and pray that we are freed once and for all from this heaviness. But of course, proceeding with caution, or the word actually was cautious. So let's be cautious about what we see, what we hear, what we are feeling, and slow down and realize that we can free ourselves. And this is also about the freedom of the world. Again, this particular new moon, I feel like governments we're gonna see them play out their nonsense. If you watch the karmic wheel for the month of January, this is the point I think that I was referring to, where you're going to see these leaders kind of rising up and yeah, and engaging on at this platform level. One thinking about the world, the other wanting to create more of a bond. Um, yeah, a bondage energy with the world. So we'll see what happens. I kind of am also getting, I know I'm going into a little bit more of a collective reading here, but we do have to be cautious about the potentiality of bonding the world into a space or something a little bit more conservative or more constrictive, because that's the energy of Capricorn. Okay, I want to leave you with this the positive aspect of it, which is really the freedom of the world. Let's go with that before we go into our tarot and oracle reading for the new moon on January 18th, 2026. All right. Once again, we are in a new moon in Capricorn in both Vedic and tropical astrology. And what this means to me is that there's going to be a high concentration of our emotions in this field of Capricorn, right? It's an earth sign, grounding is very important, and it's also ruled by Saturn, which means that discipline is also very important. Working really hard is also very important. Working hard at what? Regulating our emotions. All right. So we're going to do this reading, and we're going to start in Capricorn, make ourselves go around the wheel here and end in Sagittarius. I am using, let's see, I'm using the Flower Oracle because I felt that we needed the earth element of Capricorn somehow, and I wanted it also to be beautiful. So I'm using the Flower Oracle for our oracle messages. And then I'm using this deck, which is called the Truth. I think it's the Truth Tellers Tarot. I forgot, but I don't have the box and I don't have the book anymore. This is one of my earlier decks, but I'm going to be using this. And I've already pre-shuffled everything. Let me just give it another shuffle now that it's here and I'm recording. Let's give it another shuffle. So that's going to be our tarot card. Let's see, let me move it up here so you can see. And I'm going to put the oracle over here. I hope you can see it. And then, of course, the regular spiel. I'll gravitate toward either the devil archetype or the world archetype in doing your readings. And let's see. I'm using these, and I forgot the name of the box, but these are just for identification as I am doing the card reading. And here you see the actual sea goat. Let me put this up so you can see it. It's a nice deck. All right, so you're up, Capricorn. Let's see what your guidance is for this new moon in your sign. Okay, let's see. The first card up that we have is the Fool. I feel like I want to pull the World card here a little bit because sometimes in Tarot, the Fool is either going to be at the beginning or it's going to be at the end right after the World card. So I am feeling very much that you are closing something up during this new moon period, and you're going to start a new journey. You're going to begin something new moving forward. Um, Beautiful. I would say, like, when you're dealing with this Capricorn energy that we spoke about, to proceed with caution, right? Because that was the word. So do proceed with caution on anything new that you may be endeavoring to engage with. Let's see what your guidance is. And your guidance is the hibiscus flower, health, zest, and resistant. I feel like you want to focus on health here. Whenever we're starting a new journey or we're beginning something new, it's really important for us to center the mind, body, and soul. And I just was called to health. So focus on your health and then see where you're at in order to engage on your new journey. Nice. It's a good one. All right, let's put this back. And let me put these here so I won't mix them up. The other day I was doing I guess one of these readings, and I opened a card deck and I had a card in there from another deck. So I was like, oh no, I have to be very cautious using that word in how I place my cards here, so I don't do that in the future. Next we have Aquarius. Aquarius, so let's see what your card reading is. The Prince of Wands. Whenever I see this Prince of Wands energy, I do want to, it's like you're preparing yourself, and I'm being called here to the World card. You're preparing yourself to engage in another creative project. And this is like, it feels like you just gathering up all of the tools in order for you to achieve this new goal that you are engaging with. Yeah, let's see what your guidance is. We've had I can never say that word, chrysanthemums. There you go, Ingrid. So this is cleansing, longevity, and nobility. I feel that it's a cleansing period for you. I feel like if you're preparing things and you're gathering your tools to move ahead into a new journey, a new creative project, that you're going to have to do some clearing in order to really, be in the space of accomplishment. Nice. Next we have, let's move this over here, Pisces energy. And again, I am focusing on the moon, but if you want, you can look at your sun sign, you can look at your ascendant sign. All of these can make up the story for your energy during this new moon period from now, January 18th, until the full moon next month. Pisces, let's see what you got. Ooh, you've got this beautiful Seven of Wands. Well, this for you is going to be a balancing game. Balancing what? Your faith. What is it that you're believing on? And also balancing your creative projects. You might have a lot going on with your creative projects, so you may need to release, there you go. That's the word that came up. You may need to release some things in order for you not to feel this sort of potentiality of things falling out of balance. Have faith that whatever's being presented to you or whatever the new journey is with your passion moving forward, have faith that what's in front of you is what you're needing to deal with. Everything else you can release and let go because you don't want to feel this bondage, right? You don't want to feel this tightness, especially when we're talking about regulating our emotions. Let's see what your guidance is. Foxglove, magic, wildness, and remedy. I feel like it's remedy, right? Like you're being given the remedy, which is to let go, release something that's really not serving you anymore, Pisces, and be in the state of having faith that what's in front of you is what you're here to deal with at this time. Okay, next we have Aries, sun, moon, or rising. You've got the Emperor Aries, and that's your card. The Emperor is your card. So whatever's going on with you, it's very passionate, very fiery, very much into this. I felt like One could say warlike energy, but also one could say like in this mood of I am emperor, I've accomplished, I'm gravitating toward the world. I've accomplished a lot in my world, in my space, right? So let me put these down. So there's this energy of you being sort of the emperor of your own empire and feeling very accomplished during this full moon, new moon period. Let's see what your guidance is. Peony. Nice. So it's prosperity, introspective, and virtue. I felt like it was prosperity. I felt like it was like an accomplishment of something bigger going on, of a bigger world that you're creating during this period of time. And it's obviously lasting because anytime we're dealing with the triumph and the world card, it's a lasting energy. Next, we have Taurus energy, sun, moon, or rising. Let's see what your guidance is. We've got that Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords always makes me feel like, again, that word cautious, right? Because you almost feel like, wow, if I take this sword and sort of like touch any of these that have been solidified, any of the eight, I might knock everything down. But the point here is to remember the light source. Remember that these ideas, right? Because the swords always represent ideas. These ideas have already been blessed by the light. So it's not going to fall apart. So you have to really be in the space of not looking back, but looking forward, or at least being in the present moment so that you don't trip up. I'm going to pull here the devil card, the devil archetype, right? You want to be the leader. You want to be in the space of action, fun, and adventure, but you don't want to be in the space where you're not nurturing yourself in the present moment. If you fail to do that, that leaves you trapped, leaves you in bondage to the past, or even in bondage to a future potential. The herbalist. Nice. Healing, wisdom, listening. I really feel it's about wisdom. I really feel it's Taurus. It's about you being in the present state of heeding the guidance in the present state, of being present to the moment, Taurus. That's going to give you the freedom that you want, that you desire. Okay, next we have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's see what you have. You've got the Eight of Cups. I always feel like the Eight of Cups is about these options that you have, but you're not moving forward with it and you feel a little bit trapped, right? There's an energy of feeling a little bit trapped, of feeling unable to move. And perhaps it's because you, sometimes this energy gives me like this feeling of, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. So we're not even looking at the potential, opportunities that we have right in front of us because we're stuck in the future, which is an interesting space to be in for Geminis, because Geminis you kind of will flip back and forth anyway on decision making, etc. And so I just have that energy here of you not making a decision because you think the grass is greener on the other side. And this also has to do with your emotions. So I would say also watch your emotional state during this time period. And then you have the bee. Wow. So you didn't even get a flower here. You got the bee. So this is diligence, activity, essentiality. I felt, Gemini, that this was a lot of you being the worker bee. Remember that Capricorn has that work ethic going on. So it's time for you to just make a decision and move forward. Be in that space of diligence, but make the decision and move forward. And that's going to make you feel freedom, or at least the release point. Next, we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's see. We have the Two of Cups. So already, I know this is very emotional. You're going to be engaging with another, and I'm being pulled here to the double archetype because there's another here, right? So you're going to be engaging with another. You're going to be having one-to-one heart conversations with another during this period of time. So it's still very emotional. It could even be still the remnants of this full moon where we were going between these energies of Gemini, the thinking energy, and Cancer, the feeling energy. So this could be remnants of that. And finally, when you do that one-to-one conversation, and I am feeling like I'm tapping into somebody who's watching this, you are going to let the waters flow and feel the freedom, feel the release that you've been seeking. Let's see what your flower guidance is. Pansy, thoughts, gentleness, soothsaying. I feel that there's just going to be this gentle release for you. I feel there's going to be this ability to let things go finally. Nice. Okay. Next, I have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And we've got the Empress Leo. Wow. So there's a beautiful, I mean, I'm already gravitating toward this triumphant energy. There's this beautiful engagement that you have properly communicated what you wanted to communicate regarding your empire, regarding your work, regarding something of a bigger picture that you've been wanting to convey to others, right? Or to a group of people. And it just feels very triumphant. You are finally in this energy where you feel you have accomplished something big, right? And then you get the gardener, care, stewardship, and reciprocity. I feel that it's this energy of stewardship, right? Especially with the Empress energy here. She's usually pregnant, or we know that the Empress is going to be giving birth to something creative or something. She's going to be giving birth to something which is very much in the space of triumph, and you've been the steward of that energy, of whatever it is that's going to be expressed through this communication, through the Empress. Next, we have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And we've got the Five of Pentacles. Whenever I see the Five of Pentacles, it is this kind of energy of feeling stuck. Even when you see the coins here, it's inside of this lighthouse. So it feels like it's not moving, it's not flowing for you right now. And I would also say to watch the health during this time period as well. Could be constrictions in the body. So definitely watch your health and, eat healthy, right? You don't want to be in this space where you're not feeling freedom because you're not feeling well, right? So make the movement. Know that you have the keys to release yourself from any bad habits that you may have had. Remember that the devil archetype can also be an expression of bad habits. In your case, because I'm feeling this, it feels like bad eating habits, right? Let's see what your the honey possum, charm, uniqueness, evolution. I think it's an evolutionary period that you're going through right now with your body, with your body. So it's really important for you to release any of these bad habits that are constricting you so that you can move on, so that you can evolve into the next phase of your life. Sure. Next, we have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We've got Temperance, Libra. This energy of temperance is very much a Libran energy, right? Because we are tempering not only our emotions, but we are tempering our environment and allowing creativity, allowing alchemy to take place. Remember that this is one of the few cards that has an angelic presence. So you're very much guided this period of time to temper and to create the alchemy that you are seeking. Obviously, I'm drawn here to the world tarot energy. This very much feels like just the world is at your feet. Don't try to control too much. Allow the angelic forces to temper what needs to be tempered in your life. Let's see what your guidance is. Ladybug. I love that. Good omen, protection, benevolence. I feel like all three for you, Libra. It is a good omen, actually, to have temperance. It is an angelic force, so there's protection here for you. And of course, the benevolent energies of this temperance engagement, together with triumph, right? Together with the world archetype. Nice. Next, we have Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising sign. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. You've got the Three of Wands. So you are in a space where you are creating with two other people or having an engagement or collaborative experience with others about communication, about a creative project. And it does feel on the bigger scale global for some reason. That's what I'm getting. It is actually very exciting times for you. I'm very happy for you, actually. This feels really good, Scorpio. And then you've got the bat energy, misunderstanding, good fortune, and perception. I feel that for you, it's this energy of good fortune, because this energy of working with others, this is a trinity, this is this engagement of the sacred threes, felt like an energy of good fortune for me, for you. Okay. Next we have Sagittarius, which is the last sign for this evening. Let's see what you have. The Six of Pentacles. Watch out for the depressions, right? Because it feels like this is a watch out for your mental energy. Don't get too exhausted. Self-nurturing is key for you. This is this card of we can get depressed either with the news or what's going on in the family or what's going on in the job. We can fall into these highs and lows, right? And it leaves us feeling chained, right? So the key here is to nurture yourself and to release yourself from any heaviness that you think is of your own making, even, right? You have the keys. Remember, the devil archetype is always showing us that we have the keys to our own freedom. And your guidance is preserver. I love that. Collection, memory, endurance. I feel like it's endurance. Like, Sagittarius, we're just feeling this energy, and it could even be a collective energy here. So remember, and I think endurance was this also this part of this Capricornian energy, right? So you might be feeling this emotion a lot more potently than others might, only because that word endurance came up. So for you, I would say release your memories, collect your energy, and be in the space of knowing that this too shall pass, right? Nothing lasts forever. So this is a momentary sort of um, energy with your feelings, that if you hold on to hope, and if you endure this moment, it will pass and you will engage with this freedom that you're craving. All right, folks, that was the new moon in Capricorn reading. I hope you have a safe one. Remember what I said in the beginning. If you are able to just send love and light to all the victims that whose voices are going to be heard. They will be heard. And it's important, if you are courageous, and it takes courage to love people. If you are courageous, it's important to be witness. It's important to be witness. Watch, observe. endure, right? So that we can release the heaviness that's in this world and feel this energy of triumph through this frequency of love that only you possess, right? It's your key to freedom, love. All right. Stay safe, everyone. And I hope one or two are interested in participating in the 9-month journey with me. I am telling you, you are going to have fun because I make every single engagement filled with creative projects. That is how we're going to learn to row. It's going to be fun, guys. All right. Have a safe one. And until the full moon, bye.